Some animals leave hoofprints on the soil, but some leave wounds inside the human heart. They thought the horse was only a tool for work, until the night it disappeared and took away the peace, success, and humanity of the family that owned it. In a quiet countryside surrounded by green fields lived a family led by Matteo and his wife Elena, together with their children Daniel, Marco, and Sofia. Years ago, their life was simple. They worked from sunrise until nightfall, planted crops together, and shared humble meals under the glow of an old lantern. Life was difficult, but there was peace in their home. As years passed, the farm slowly prospered. More land was bought, more workers were hired, and each child was given responsibility. Daniel handled the crops, Marco managed deliveries, while Sofia supervised supplies and workers. Their success continued to grow until Matteo decided to buy a horse. "It will help us work faster," he proudly said. A beautiful brown horse arrived days later. Sofia named him Valor because she believed he would bring strength to the family. At first, they treated him kindly. Elena fed him fresh hay, the children brushed his mane, and Matteo proudly showed him to visitors. Valor worked faithfully. He carried sacks of grain, pulled wagons through muddy roads, and helped transport harvests across the fields. Because of him, the farm became richer than ever. But success slowly changed the family. Little by little, gratitude disappeared. They no longer saw Valor as a living creature, but as a machine. "If the horse can still stand, it can still work," Daniel would say. Sometimes Valor worked from sunrise until midnight. Even exhausted, someone always demanded more. If Matteo finished using him, Marco would take him next. If Marco was done, Sofia would ask for him. Even Elena, who once cared deeply for the horse, began saying, "We cannot waste time. The horse is expensive." The workers noticed everything. One old worker named Tomas quietly warned Matteo one day. "Sir, the horse needs rest." Matteo frowned. "We feed him. We own him. He works." Weeks passed, and Valor's strong body slowly faded. His ribs showed beneath his once beautiful coat. His movements weakened, and sadness filled his eyes. Sometimes he stared silently toward the open fields as if dreaming of freedom. Still, no one noticed his suffering. One afternoon, Matteo forced Valor to pull a heavy wagon through thick mud after hours of non-stop labor. The horse struggled badly. Its legs trembled from exhaustion. "Move!" Matteo shouted. Valor tried, but his body could barely continue. He stumbled, and for the first time ignored Matteo's command. Anger consumed the old farmer. Matteo struck the horse harshly while the workers lowered their heads in silence. "Useless animal," he yelled. "If this horse refuses to work, don't feed him properly tonight." That evening Matteo warned his children, "This horse exists to work. If he refuses, make him suffer until he obeys." That night was cold and silent. Before dawn came, the rope outside the barn had been torn loose. Valor was gone. At first, the family ignored it. "He'll come back," Marco said carelessly. But days passed. Then weeks. There was no sign of the horse anywhere. Slowly, the farm began collapsing. Without Valor, deliveries became slower. Workers struggled to carry supplies. Matteo himself had to pull heavy carts despite his aging body. The peaceful home slowly turned into a house full of blame, while many workers left after growing tired of endless labor and little care. One rainy evening, Matteo sat alone inside the empty barn where Valor used to sleep. For the first time in years, he cried. Not because of money. Not because the farm was failing. But because guilt had finally reached his heart. We destroyed him, Matteo whispered. Sophia overheard him and began crying too. He trusted us, she said softly. And we treated him worse than a tool. Days later, Matteo gathered his family and workers. I was blinded by greed, he admitted. We forgot kindness, rest, and gratitude. From that day on, the family treated both animals and workers with respect. But the empty stall inside the barn remained untouched, a reminder of the horse they failed to love. Because sometimes, the ones who suffer silently are the ones we hurt the most. And when loyalty is abused for too long, even the most faithful heart will choose to leave. Greed can turn kindness into cruelty. When people value profit more than compassion, they lose something greater than wealth, their humanity. If someone stayed loyal to you while silently suffering, would you notice their pain before it was too late?